Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please take a second to click the like button if you like this video or hit the thumbs down if you don't. Also, if you enjoy the contents of this channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Luxray from the Brilliant Star set. What makes Luxray great is that it can be a strong 1 energy attacker. It's a stage 2 Pokemon with 150 HP, 1 retreat cost, no resistance, and is weak to fighting. It has 2 attacks. The first one is Energy Crush. For just 1 lightning energy, this attack deals 50 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack can become insanely powerful, but the downside is that the attack power is dependent on your opponent's energy attachment. Its second attack is Flash Impact. Again, for just 1 lightning energy, it deals 110 damage, but you also have to do 30 damage to one of your own benched Pokemon. This attack is okay, but I really don't like the damage that you have to deal on your own Pokemon. For this build, I've chosen to redirect the 30 damage to this Wobbuffet V, more for its greedy comeback attack. For 2 colorless energy, you can switch all damage counter on this Pokemon with those on your opponent's active Pokemon. This may not be the best option, but you know what, I just wanted to try it out. And with the help of the choice belt, we can also increase Luxray's attack by 30 damage when going against a V Pokemon. I am using the Rapid Strike Shinx and also 1 Rapid Strike Luxio as the pre-evolution. This way you can also use the Rapid Strike Scroll of the Skies, just in case, which allows you to use the Grab Drop attack for 1 lightning and 1 colorless energy. It deals 10 plus damage and 50 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. And I'm also using 2 of this Luxio with the top entry ability. If you happen to draw this card from the top of your deck at the beginning of your turn, then you can put it straight to your bench. And I'm pairing this with a copy of Oranguru with a Primate Wisdom ability, so that if you happen to have Luxio in your hand, you can switch it with the top card of your deck, and this will help set up Luxio so that you can use its ability. For consistency, I'm using Snorlax with Gourmandize ability, and I also have Manaphy to protect our bench from damage. My supporters are pretty basic in this build: 2 Boss Orders, 2 Marnie, 3 Professor's Research, 2 Raihans, and 1 Skyla. And as for the other cards, I have Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, Rare Candy and Evolution Incense, Scoop Up Net, Switch, Ordinary Rod for Recovery, Energy Search, Air Balloon more for Oranguru, Stormy Mountain Stadium so that we can easily set up our Shinx. And as for my energies, I have Speed Energy, which also helps us draw 2 cards when we attach it to our Lightning type Pokemon, 4 Basic Lightning Energy, and 2 Capture Energy. I have to admit, some of the other Luxray designs are a lot more powerful than this one in my opinion, and you can probably mix and match if you want, but this build is pretty basic. For science, I'm just making this Luxray as a standalone attacker and see how well it does on its own. And that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Luxray. But first, let's hear it from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get PTCGO code cards. Are you looking to complete your Pokemon card collection online for the latest set? PTCGO has everything you need. Please use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so you can get a 5% discount. Help yourself out with the discount, and thank you for helping support the content I create in this channel and for helping out PTCGO. Alright, let's get this game started then. My opponent is going to go first. So Rick Boss Ruler, let's have a good game. I'm going to start this match with the Snorlax in the active. And really not much to help us here to set up. We are going up against a Gengar VMAX build, and I think this is actually a good match for us. Because Gengar VMAX doesn't really do too well against single prizers. They actually need at least 3 energies attached to their Gengar to attack for a lot of damage. And of course, if we start beating up their active or their main attacker, they'll have to set up a second one. So our opponent will actually get forced to stack up their energies. So for the meantime, I'm just going to use my Ultra Ball. And I hate to discard these 2, but I think the Incense and the Scoop Up are the best options for the meantime. I'll just get a Shinx, attach the Speed Energy so we can draw 2 cards. We don't get much else. And I think I'll just thin out my hand here so I can draw more cards. I'll just attach it to Snorlax so I can draw 3. At least that will help us if we don't get a Switch or a Scoop Up Net. You can always just attach an energy on Snorlax and just retreat it that way. So now we can set up our Luxray here. We can use Rare Candy, Evolve, and then we can start attacking. Although my opponent doesn't have a lot of energies just yet, and it's not going to be enough damage to knock out their Gengar. And they're actually going to boss our Shinx, and it does enough damage, especially with increased damage of the thanks to the single strike energies, and they do get a knockout of that one. At least we get another Shinx from the Gormandize. I'll just discard that Luxio and then get another Shinx, and with this capture energy we can set up our third Shinx, although I can set up our other ones. I'll just get another Shinx. That way they can't really dwindle down our basics, so we'll always have a continuous line of attackers. And with Skyla, I think I'll just get a choice belt, although if they do manage to attack we can use right hand, but we don't have any basic energies, so I think I'll just get choice belt. We can increase our damage on our next turn when we do evolve into a Luxray. So I'll just Gormandize for the meantime. Unless they have another boss, you know, they can always just target the one with the energy, thinking that that's the attacker. But the nice thing about this Luxray is that it only needs one energy, although it does depend on how much energy is attached to your opponent's Pokemon. You know, the fact that you can attack for a lot of damage with one energy is actually really good. But they're gonna Marnie us, dude. That's gonna shuffle all of those good cards, and that that is not good. I mean, at least we got Marnie from that, and we also have Oranguru, so that's good. Okay, they're gonna evolve into a Gengar VMAX, Pain Explosion, knocking out my Snorlax, and that actually hit them for some damage counters, and I don't know if we can deal enough damage. We just have to evolve into a Luxray. Can always just use a quick ball for now. Get a Snorlax. I think I'll have to just draw. Let me Marnie first, see if we can get anything here so we can attack. We still can't evolve into a Luxray, unfortunately. So I will have to retreat and then Gormandize. But first, let me use Primate Wisdom, maybe. Okay, we got the Luxray, but no rare candy. We just attach this energy here, retreat. And then that will set up for Raihan at least. Get rid of their stadium. That doesn't help us either, so I'm just gonna Gormandize for 4. Okay, so we finally got a rare candy, and we can finally evolve into a Luxray. And with Raihan, we can, dude, they're gonna Marnie. That is so annoying. It really is. Yeah, just when you thought you got all the cards you need, you know, they shuffle it back. Okay, well, we might have to slowly evolve into one. We have a Luxio, so that's good. I'm really scared of putting my Wobbuffet V because it is weak against Dark. It becomes a liability at this point, so I don't think it's a good idea to put it in the bench. But they're gonna switch into their Gengar VMAX. But so far we have been very slow with our setup here. No thanks to our opponent's Marnies, you know. Just when we got all the cards we need on hand, they just shuffled all of them back to the bottom of our deck. So that's definitely an annoying thing to happen. But with all the energies they have, I think we should be able to deal some reasonable amount of damage against this Gengar VMAX, even knock it out with one hit. And then the other VMAX has a lot of damage counters on it, so I think we are on our way here. Let's see. Let me Primate Wisdom first. Put this here. Okay, it's just Luxray again. Let me just evolve this guy. Might as well. Just gonna Marnie. Okay, nice. Alright. I like that draw. So we got a rare candy. And a Luxray. Okay, good, good. So now we can evolve into another Luxray in our next turn. And I think I'll just Energy Crush here. Not quite enough to knock it out. 250 damage is not bad. But we're almost there. We just need, what, 50 damage on this Gengar VMAX in the active, and we should be good. 50 damage is not too bad. And for just one energy, dealing 50 damage is actually reasonable. And they actually cannot attack because we don't have any V Pokemon. So again, that's why Gengar VMAX is really bad against single prizers. It's very dependent on how many V Pokemon your opponent has on the bench. And again, they need at least 3 cards to attack single prizer cards. So I think we can actually take a knockout here. 250 damage because of all of those damage counters on it already. We got 3 prizes for that. And with their weakened Gengar VMAX for that we just need to hit for 50, we can just boss that into the active and win this game. Even if they knock out our active, we can even just attack with our Luxio with the choice belt, increasing its damage, attack damage output. And I think we have this game. It took a while, but you know what? At least you can see how much power this Luxray can have. Again, very dependent on your opponent's energy attachment, but you know what? It does work. It does work. And there's a scoop. All right, good game. All right, moving on to our next match against Gifted Gengar. Again, let's have a good match. We started with 2 Shinx, which is really great. And we're going up against what looked to be a Mewtwo V Union card. So my opponent's definitely using that. For the meantime, we have a quick ball. I probably will grab myself a Snorlax so that I can start drawing on my first turn, but I really don't want to discard any of these cards, but at least my opponent mulligans twice. We get another Shinx and a Manaphy. And we're going up against a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX build. I actually shouldn't have put the Manaphy, although they might have a Galarian Articuno, the baby one. So that could help us prevent them from attacking our bench. So I'm just sitting on my hand so I can Gourmandize for 5. So we have the Scroll of the Skies reserved for our Rapid Strike Shinx. We can also evolve that into the Rapid Strike Luxio so we don't waste the scroll. And now my opponent's setting up their Mewtwo V Union with the help of Professor Burnett and also Familial Bell. There's the 3rd Mewtwo puzzle piece. They're just gonna use Shadow Mist. We're not really dependent on special energy on this build, so we should be fine. Let's evolve into a Luxray, and then I'll get the Rapid Strike Luxio. Evolve this. Put this here, and I think I'm just gonna Marnie. So that'll reduce their hand to 4. We get a lot of boss's order. That doesn't really help us set up. At least we get a energy search, so we can start setting up our attacker. I think I'll put it on the Rapid Strike one because that one requires 2 energies to attack with the scroll. So I think it's good to set that up. We got 2 other Luxios, but can't really use it as a tap entry. We can evolve the other Shinx on our next turn though. So my opponent will be able to evolve into the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So they're gonna start stacking energies, and I don't know if my opponent notices this, but we will crush them with their own energies if they're not careful. Because Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX does depend on how many energies are attached to all of your Pokemon and to their own Pokemon. So it's kind of like Luxray's attack, but on their side. So it's a double-edged sword against our opponent. But they should be smart about how much energy they should attach, because if they're not, we're just gonna deal a lot of damage. So I'm just gonna use Ultra Ball, and I think I will just grab my last Shinx in the deck, and I'll energize my Luxray. Use my Marnie. We do have a switch, which is good, so we can actually start attacking, but we won't be dealing a lot of damage at this point, so I think I'll just Gormandize one last time. So we have a rare candy, we can set up another Luxray, and if they do start attacking here, knock out one of our Pokemon, we can also use Raihan. Just have to make sure that you have basic energy in your discard pile. So they can use Professor's Research, draw into a lot of cards. They're going to start using their ability to energize their Pokemon. Again, if my opponent's not careful, they are actually setting up for their own defeat here. So right now we are hitting for 5, 10, 15, 250 damage right now. And even with the cemetery, old cemetery stadium, it doesn't really matter because we only need one energy to attack. Okay, they have Articuno V, Max Geist, and they're hitting for 160 damage, and I think that's all they need actually to be able to attack for a good amount to knock out our Luxray. But that's their choice. However, we are still hitting for a lot of damage against their VMAX. So despite them being able to attack, they're only getting one price at a time while we get so much for each knockout. So we can use Raihan. I can accelerate an energy on my other Luxray. And I think I'll get a choice belt and put it here. And then we're just gonna use Grab Drop, I think, this one. Yeah, 160 damage. There's really no use attacking with Luxray just yet, because we're only hitting for 250 damage. Even with a choice belt, 280 damage will not be enough to knock it out. So either way, we can use the Grab Drop attack, deal 160 damage. We still put it in knockout range, so we're 2-hit KOing their VMAX at this point. But since they are adding more energies, we are actually what is this now? We're now hitting for 300. No. What is that? 5, 10, 15, 300, 4. We're hitting for 400 damage with all the energy they have in play right now. Oh my goodness. I don't I don't know if my opponent realizes this. Dude, stop it. Man. Stop. Well, guys, that's one thing you have to keep in mind when you're in a match. You know, you have to make sure that you know what your opponent's doing, or at least familiarize yourself with your opponent's hand, or the cards that they use, or their attackers, so that you know, you don't set yourself up to lose. Okay, they're using Peonia. I don't know if they're missing any other pieces from for their Mewtwo V Union. They can actually get a lot of damage off of Mewtwo V Union if they can set up an attack and then deal the damage counter spread. They can actually get a lot of prizes that way. But here we go, guys. With Luxray in the active, let's just attach a speed energy. And let's see how much damage we're dealing here. Energy Crush for 480 damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. And you know what? Guess what? We have a boss's order on hand. All we have to do is actually snipe the other one. If they don't attach any more energies. Right now we're dealing 5, 10, 15, 350 damage still because they attached another energy on their shot. You know what? This is it. That's it. All we have to do is just boss one of their Pokemon, or even if they don't, we can just knock out their active with our other Luxray, even if they knock out the one in the active. So, man, this is insane. This is one of the few matchups where this Luxray actually deals a lot of damage, and you know, as a standalone, it's good. It's dependent on your opponent's energy attachment, but if you mix and match this with the other Luxray, I think this will be a good card to have. But you know what? we're just gonna attack for Energy Crush. 480 damage once again, getting us the win. Alright, let's get into our next match. This seems like a fake matchup, I gotta tell ya. Does this seem like a fake matchup to you guys? Yes, it is, because our opponent seems fake, 333. Let's have a good match. Let's start with a Manaphy, which is less than ideal. They have a Remoraid in the active. So it looks like they're using a Rapid Strike Pokemon. Okay, let's see. Not much we can set up here. What I need is a Snorlax to start. And a bunch of basics. So let's grab a Quick Ball with our Skyla. And I think I will just discard the Evolution Incense. Then just put an Air Balloon on Manaphy, retreat, and I'll just Gormandize because I don't want to waste the energy attachment here, and we still don't get anything actually. I might have to use Marnie on my second turn then. Yeah, so it really depends on what cards you pull. You do want to set up your basics as fast as you can. And it looks like my opponent's also using a Luxray Luxray build. I wonder if this is a mirror match. Let's find out. Well, I mean, they have a Rapid Strike Octillery, so most likely this is not gonna be, but we'll find out. Okay, they have a Sobble. I wonder if the Inteleon line would actually be good with this Luxray build. It could actually work. So let me just Marnie. Ooh, still nothing. Let me just attach an energy to thin out my hand. Gormandize again. Okay, we got Stormy Mountain. At least that can help us to set up our Shinx. And then when we attach Speed Energy, hopefully we can draw into more cards. That way we can quickly set up our Shinx because... Okay, they are using the Rapid Strike Luxray. So that one has a hit and run attack, and also it has the attack where it deals 200 damage if your opponent has a damage counter on it. So our Luxray is not going to survive any attack against that. All they need is a damage counter against our Luxray, and hitting for 200 damage is a lot of damage. They can just one-hit KO our Luxray, and our Luxray is dependent on how many energy they have on hand or in play. So right now my opponent needs at least 2 energies to attack, so we're only hitting for 100 damage actually, if that's the only energies they have in play. So they have Electro Stab, 40 damage, and then you can switch with one of your benched Pokemon, or Scar Strikes that deals 100 plus damage, or 200 if your opponent has a damage counter on it. So very powerful attacker. I actually showcased this in my channel before. So let's see if we can, let's try and win this match if we can. So let's use our Stormy Mountains to get our Shinx finally. Drawing to 2 more cards. We still don't get any other basic Pokemon, and we can't draw any more cards with the Gormandize. So I might just have to thin out my hand here. Maybe we could draw. Let me boss their Octillery. Maybe we can prevent it from retreating, because that can be very disruptive, because if they don't have any switch on hand, they may just have to use Octillery to grab another Tower of Waters to just get it retreated, and that's gonna waste their ability during that turn. Although although they have Shady Dealing, so they just can grab any trainer card they want from their deck, so they're probably just gonna get Tower of Waters here. I know they're gonna grab a rare candy, so they can set up another Luxray. So they are... Oh no, they're gonna set up Inteleon. Oh right. So they're using the quick shooting ability here so that they can deal the damage counter, and then Luxray will finish off their opponent because it will start dealing 200 damage. And of course they're going to use Octillery to get their Tower of Water so they can retreat it. And with Snorlax having the damage counter on it already, they're dealing 200 damage. And if they have a boss, they can actually just snipe my Shinx, my main attacker, and they could just keep preventing me from setting up that way. So my opponent has an early start. They are definitely setting up faster than I am, and the fact that we're not getting any other basic is just really bad. But at least we can evolve into a Luxray, and my opponent's Luxray has 50 HP, 150 HP, so we should be able to knock it out with the amount of energy they have in play. I'll just attach that, not that it will matter. Energy Crush for 150, knocking out their Luxray. That will get us one prize. We get an Oranguru from that. So, you know what? I don't know if we're going to win this one, because if they only attach 2 energies at a time, we're only hitting for 100 damage. And even if we use Flash Impact, we're only dealing 110 damage, and the Choice Belt isn't adding in additional damage because they're not using any V Pokemon. So this is not a good matchup. It makes me really want to mix this up with the Rapid Strike Luxray, actually. So you'll have 2 different types of Luxray. One that focuses on how much energy your opponent has. And I think this is a good addition to a Luxray build too, because especially with the new Arceus V-Star builds that actually focuses on attaching a lot of energies at a time. So with 3 energies on Arceus V-Star, and then when they attack, they attach another 3 energies, because the Arceus V-Star builds usually focus on a lot of energies. So if you have this Luxray in your arsenal, you can actually one-hit KO a lot of their Pokemon just for 1 energy. So having this Luxray, I think, is a good addition to your other Luxray. So for now, they're gonna evolve into Luxio, 80 damage. We can actually knock it out with Energy Crush, but they are gonna retreat, and we don't have a boss, and they're just gonna continue to chip away our Luxray. So that's not good. We could have knocked it out. Okay, we got another Shinx, which is good. I hate to do it, but we might just have to Marnie. Yeah, I'll just Marnie for now. Although that's gonna give them more cards, but it doesn't really matter because they could probably just use Octillery to get like another draw card, so it's fine. So at least we have Luxio, and let's see. Let me just get a Snorlax then, and then could just knock this guy out. Yeah, I mean, with 2 energies they have in play, just getting a prize is a big deal. So I don't know. I think that was a good move. Just get a prize and then get ahead in this price exchange, and hopefully. I mean, we have a rare candy. We can evolve into another Luxray. But every time I stall with Snorlax, they're going to get another prize. Because all they have to do is use Quick Shooting, deal 200 damage, and then they get a knockout every time. Although, for us, it's not going to guarantee a knockout because, again, we're dependent on how many energies our opponent has. They're actually using the Luxray we're using too. But since we have a lot of energies in play, it's not it's not gonna help. We have 1 energy on Manaphy, so they're dealing 200 damage for just 1 energy. So yeah, actually that's a good build that my opponent has. So just have this Luxray as like a support or a secondary attacker, while you have the Rapid Strike Luxray as your main attacker, dealing 200 damage in combination with the Quick Shooting Inteleon. Okay, so 200 damage, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to this. I'm gonna give it to my opponent as the better build. I think we are gonna lose this. I don't see any other win condition against this matchup because they can control how many energy they have. Just use Ordinary Rod, get these two back into the deck, and then I think I'll just have to retreat into Snorlax maybe. Let me just evolve into another Luxray. That way we have another attacker on hand. Then I'll just retreat into Luxray, I think. And I'll just use Flash Impact. 110 damage. Yeah, at least we're dealing a chip damage on this Luxray, and then we can just knock it out with my next attacker. Because even if I had switched into Snorlax, we draw into cards, but then they'll just knock out our Snorlax. Although, you know what? That would have been a better move. I don't know. I don't know if that was a good move. Because I'm thinking against this Luxray, we can do some chip damage. Again, because of our lack of control of how much damage we're dealing right now, it's really, we have little choice of how we can knock out how I can knock out my opponent's Luxray. And it doesn't help that my opponent has Inteleon with a quick shooting, because every turn they're just gonna continue to chip away at my opponent, my Pokemon. Even my Manaphy is not. Manaphy becomes a liability at this point. Yeah, there it is, because it only has 70 HP, and they just need one more turn. They get an extra prize for that, and they're hitting for 150 damage right now. And we are at a loss here. I'll just pivot into Manaphy. We can always just retreat. The Primate Wisdom. Okay, we get an Ultra Ball. I can get a Luxray. I'll have to discard both of these cards though. Right? Can get a Luxray, knock out their active, but then even if I do that, they're just gonna knock it out because they have a quick shooting, and then they just need one energy on their Rapid Strike Luxray in the bench. So I think I'll just stall. Manaphy became a liability, so I'd scoop it up. Maybe that will get us another turn, and I'll set up another Shinx. Gorman dies here for 7 cards. Yeah, we're in a really tight spot. I don't know how else we can win this one. Because they're just they can easily deal 200 damage, and they have a third quick shooting. They can knock out my Shinx right there, right then and there. You know, that's one prize. They can retreat. Oh wait, well, they won't be dealing a lot of damage to my Snorlax though, so they will have to put a damage counter on Snorlax. Yeah. And they're probably going to retreat into their other Luxray. And yeah, the quick shooting is just bonkers, man. It's insanely good. They can use Flash Impact, and actually that's enough damage to knock out my Snorlax. 110 damage with the 2 damage counter. That's crazy. Good math. Well, they need 2 more prizes. Yeah, no. That's it. I think this is game. We'll evolve into Luxray. I mean, we can get a knockout off of this one, but that's gonna be game. They need 2 more prizes. I don't know what else we could do here. Let me get rid of these 2. Set up Luxio. Or actually, you know what? That was stupid. Okay, anyways. Energy Crush for 200 damage. Okay, 200 damage. Professor's Research. And then all they have to do is... Yeah, this is a losing game. All they have to do is quick shooting my active, knock it out. Yeah, between these 2 Luxray builds, my opponent really has it under control. Yeah, there's no way we can win this one. Even if we knock out their active, they could just quick shooting my Manaphy and then another knockout. They can easily get 2 prizes on their next turn, even if they weren't able to attack. Okay, well, let's Primate Wisdom. Maybe we can get another knockout here. Let's see. It doesn't really matter, because all they have to do is quick shooting my Manaphy, and then they're just going to win the game. But let's just do our best. Let's see what we could do here. Let's evolve into a Luxray. Let's bump out their Stadium with ours. And we should have another Shinx. Set that up in the bench. And then attach an energy on Shinx. Okay. Alright, we can scoop up our Manaphy. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They could just knock out. We're only dealing 100 damage here. And yeah, well played. I could see it. I could see it. Good game. So you're probably wondering what happened to Wobbuffet V. Well, here's the showcase, guys. here's the showcase. So my opponent uses Eruption Shot in this turn, knocking out my Luxray. Then I'll promote my other Luxray. We're dealing 250 damage right now to our opponent, minus their defensive stone energy. But with the help of the Choice Belt, we can deal actually a lot of damage. 240 damage is exceptional. So we can knock out this Colossal VMAX in our next turn. So easy peasy. But at this point, my opponent, I actually know that my opponent has a boss here. And hoping that they would try and get as much prizes as they could, that they would just target my Wobbuffet so I can actually showcase it. So I'm thinking, okay, well, they're only dealing 240 damage, but Wobbuffet V has resistance to fighting, minus 30 to their attack. So they're actually only dealing 210 damage with this Colossal VMAX. So I said, okay, well, if they attack my Wobbuffet V, it'll survive, and all we have to do is just transfer those damages to their Colossal VMAX, and then we can knock it out, right? But my mistake. So they're gonna they actually did boss my Wobbuffet V. My Wobbuffet V survives, and I got so excited. I said, all right, let's just attach an energy, transfer all of this damage counter, and then we will win. But to my surprise, I forgot. You actually switch the damage counter. So your opponent's damage counter goes to Wobbuffet, and Wobbuffet's damage goes to your opponent. So I forgot about that, and I said, man, how dumb am I? Very, right? So after that, I realized how you have to just be very aware of how Wobbuffet works. But it still makes sense. I mean, if you can stack up enough damage on Wobbuffet V each time you attack with Luxray's second attack, or if your opponent attacks for a lot of damage and then it doesn't knock out Wobbuffet V, you can always transfer all those damage to your opponent's active that doesn't have any damage on it already, and then Luxray can just finish it off. We do win this match, but don't make the same mistake I did. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Night channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.